On one corner, we have the State of Israel, backed by the superpower of the United States and seemingly invincible with their high-tech defense system. And on the other corner, the Revolutionary Islamic Republic of Iran, ready to unleash the fury of its fanatic followers through its proxy armies across the region. The Middle East is standing on a powder keg. An all-out war between these two ancient rivals is becoming more and more likely each day. So what will happen when Israel finally goes to war with Iran? Will the entire Middle East get involved? Will it become the New World War? What would this mean for our planet? Let's dive in and find out. The roots of this future war go way back. It's a combination of ideology versus ideology, religion versus religion, politics versus politics, resources versus resources, and security versus security. Since the Islamic Revolution of 1979, Iran has positioned itself as the champion of Islam, calling for the destruction of the Zionist regime in Israel and promising the return of the Messiah through jihad. On the flip side, Israel considers Iran as its greatest enemy, a constant source of instability and tension. Harboring nuclear ambitions and surrounding Israel with proxies that threaten its existence. The first sparks ignited during the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s, then continued with the creation of Hezbollah in Lebanon. After Israel invaded that country in 2006, Iran poured oil on the fire by supporting Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza, leading to three major conflicts there in 2008, 2012, and 2014, as Israel pushed deeper into Syria to protect its border with Lebanon. In Jordan, Iran felt compelled to counter their influence in that country. They provided advanced weapons to Hezbollah, including the game-changing precision-guided missile, PGM for short. Now imagine tiny Lebanon launching missiles with pinpoint accuracy that can take out a building, a bridge, or even a tank. That's a game-changer. But hold on a second. Iran also wants the bomb. They're talking about the nuclear bomb. Israel sees this as a red line. Having such a bomb in the hands of a radical regime would threaten Israel's very existence. They've carried out assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists and airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites inside Syria. But Iran keeps pushing forward, making it harder and harder for Israel to stand by and watch. Now let's zoom out for a bit. Israel is surrounded by a ring of fire. To the north, we have Hezbollah in Lebanon, formidable force with an estimated 150,000 rockets and missiles pointed at every inch of Israel. To the south, we have Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and other Sunni jihadists in Gaza, ready to launch missiles and infiltrate through tunnels. Then comes the Iraqi Shiite militias, backed by Iran's Revolutionary Guards stationed near the Syrian border. And let's not forget the Houthi rebels in Yemen, supported by Iran, launching drones and missiles from the south. Plus, if Iran joins the fight, that's a whole new level of ballistic missiles raining down on Israel. In fact, a recent report revealed that Iran has stockpiled over 3,000 ballistic missiles. This includes intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, capable of traveling over 5,000 miles and hitting targets as far away as Europe. Israel simply cannot ignore this threat. It's not just about defending its land and people. It's about preventing a catastrophe. A future war with Iran isn't just a possibility. It's a question of when, not if. So let's talk about how bad things could get. A major confrontation between Israel and Iran would undoubtedly escalate quickly. First up, you'd have Hezbollah firing off thousands of rockets and infiltrating northern Israel through Lebanon. Meanwhile, Hamas would probably launch a ground assault from Gaza. The Iraqi Shiites would likely throw their hats in the ring too, adding more rocket barrages and possibly even trying to cross into Israel from the east. At the same time, Iranian ballistic missiles would rain down on Israel. We're talking about a massive aerial bombardment, unlike anything Israel has seen before. Major Israeli cities like Tel Aviv and Netanyahu would be in danger. Wouldn't just be buildings and infrastructure targeted, but also civilians. It would be chaos and fear on a massive scale. Israel, though, is not going down without a fight. They've got some serious firepower. Their Iron Dome and David's sling systems are designed to intercept short-range rockets and artillery shells. The Arrow 3 South would be deployed to take out incoming ballistic and cruise missiles. The United States would also jump in with its Patriot missile defense system, along with fighter jets and drones providing air support. We're talking about an intense, massive battle between two determined opponents, neither of whom is willing to back down. Now here's where things start getting messy. Israel's offensive capabilities are no joke. They would strike back hard and fast. We're talking about taking out Iranian nuclear sites, military bases, and weapon depots. In a worst-case scenario, Israel might even target Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But here's the catch. Iran is deeply entrenched in Syria and Iraq. Its revolutionary guards are scattered throughout these countries, along with its proxies like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. If Israel takes out Iran's leadership, there's a good chance that Iran's proxies would retaliate against Israel's allies in the region, especially in Syria and Iraq. This means that the war could spread like wildfire, pulling in more countries and turning into a full-blown regional conflict. Here's another wild card. Iran has connections to some dangerous folks, including Russia and China. They've struck deals to sell oil, buy advanced weapons, and cozy up to each other politically. If the fighting heats up, Russia and China could get dragged into the mess. Just imagine that the next battle of the Cold War starting in the Middle East. What do you think? Let's not forget about the aftermath. If Israel manages to eliminate Iran's top brass, they'll still have to deal with the fallout. Iran's proxies will likely retaliate, keeping the region unstable for quite some time. Plus, Iran's economy would crumble under the weight of sanctions and war, leading to more social unrest and instability. It would be a humanitarian crisis with millions of refugees fleeing the conflict. Oil prices skyrocketing and global economies tanking. Even the environment wouldn't be safe. Attacks on oil tankers and shipping routes could trigger massive oil spills and environmental damage. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. There are ways to prevent this disaster. Diplomacy is key, folks. If world leaders can sit down with Israel and Iran and mediate a peace deal, maybe, just maybe, we can avoid a major conflict. The United States, as Israel's biggest ally, needs to step up and play a big role in de-escalating the situation. They should also work with countries like Turkey and Oman, who have good relations with both Israel and Iran. The key is to find common ground and build from there. Maybe it's economic cooperation, maybe it's environmental protection, or maybe it's even cultural exchanges. You never know. However, let's be real here. Iran and Israel have been at each other's throats for decades. Peace seems like a distant dream right now. Both sides are too proud and too stubborn to compromise. Not to mention the internal politics of both countries. For Iran, giving in to Israel would be political suicide. Their leaders won't survive that. For Israel, accepting Iran's demands is out of the question. They see Iran as a threat to their very existence and won't back down. What we have here is a classic standoff. Neither side is giving in, and both sides are gearing up for a fight. It's a lose-lose situation. The war will cause immense suffering for both nations and the entire Middle East. And yet diplomacy seems like a distant hope. The stage is set, and the players are ready. It's just a matter of time before the first move is made. When that happens, it could trigger a chain reaction that nobody can stop. As we wait for the next chapter in this story to unfold, let's keep one thing in mind. War is never the answer. It causes unimaginable suffering, shatters lives, and leaves scars that never heal. We can only hope that cooler heads prevail, that diplomacy wins over aggression, and that peace becomes the guiding light in this dark tunnel. We don't know what the future holds, but we can always hope for the best. That's it for this video, folks. We appreciate your generosity and your passion for learning. Keep those brain cells nourished and those neurons firing. And hey, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and join our growing community of knowledge enthusiasts. Till next time, stay curious, stay hungry for knowledge, and above all, stay awesome. See ya.